What's going on, guys? Video topic for today. This is something that I've seen on forums, blog posts, other YouTube videos, comments, etc., where people complain about being able to go prone while wearing their gear, chest rig, whatever. And I've touched on this in other videos before, but I wanted to do a updated one, kind of current version of it, and give you my 2 thoughts and 2 cents worth, maybe even 5 cents worth, you know, because I like throwing in those nickels every once in a while. People are always with the whole, you know, I wear a chest rig, I can't get prone out real low, and you know, etc. That always kind of boggles my mind, because if you're wearing a chest rig right, which is as a chest rig, then there shouldn't be any way that it can get in your way, not in realistic application. And I think that's where a couple of problems come in. So I would encourage you, if you're of that mindset, to actually go try it, revisit it. Now, as with everything, I'm just giving you, my thoughts on what works for me. If you come to a different conclusion based on your own, testing and evaluation, experimentation, hey, rock on. I don't think there's really a wrong answer per se. So, with that in mind, we'll start out with the problem of the chest rig itself. A lot of guys wear their chest rig around their stomach, okay, and wear it like a belly rig. And I'm not picking words here, I'm not playing with semantics, but if it was a belly rig, it wouldn't be called a chest rig. A chest rig is designed just for that, to be up on your chest. Like, it should be, like about where the bottom of your ribs are at, like well above your navel. If it's down here on your soft, squishy stomach, it's too low, just by nature of design, okay? That's not me just trying to pick. It's just the way it's designed, okay? And I think that's where some of the problem comes in. If you're wearing stuff down here on your stomach, then yes, you're gonna have a problem. Sometimes, even then, not all the time. If you get it up higher on your chest, you should be okay. Because, and that leads into the second part of the equation, I think people get too used to going prone, and I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, speaking in generalities here. They get too used to going prone on a flat, square, manicured range, okay? Now, on a flat, square, manicured range, you're not going to be able to get low enough to not be seen or not be a target. There's also nothing in the way of you seeing your target that you're shooting at. However, the real world is not a manicured flat range. The ground has ups and downs and contours in it. If you're in the woods or something like that, you've got grown-up brush, you've got grown-up grass. Urban-wise, in neighborhoods and stuff, you're going to have streets and curbs and ditches and bushes and different elevations of grass and etc. You've got to be able to actually see your target that you're shooting at, okay? So what ends up happening is this really crazy low profile that guys can get on a flat, square, manicured range doesn't translate to the real world. You can't lay completely flat down on the ground because you can't see anything. You couldn't see your target. You couldn't shoot back, okay? You've got to be, generally speaking, at least up on your elbows to get the gun high enough to actually even see the target. One of my previous video clips, and I'll try to splice it in here, I don't know if I can or not. One of my previous video clips in a training class I was in and helping out with was running a drill, and I proned out. The target was only about 30, 40 yards away, and I couldn't see it because of a very simple hump in the ground. It was just enough that when I went prone, I actually had to get back up on my knees to actually even see the target. So I'm just using that as an example. The earth ain't completely flat and open everywhere. So let's drop down and I'll take a look and show you. Well, first here, let me splice in that clip. Here's the video clip. Go ahead and watch this, and you'll see my example that I'm talking about.
Covering! Move!
Okay, now that you've seen that, let's get proned out and I'll show you more, kind of what I'm talking about here, okay?
All right, so we're proned out, and as you can see, my stomach is perfectly flat on the ground. My chest rig is up here. Now, I'm up on my elbows, locked in, and from here, I can barely hit anything maybe 10 or 15 yards in front of me, just because of the grass and brush and stuff like that. You got to take all that into account, because if you try to get even lower, right? Now I could monopod the mag on the ground, and there's a hole right there, but I can monopod it on the ground, right? But even then, I still can't see anything because of the curvature of the ground, brush, grass, etc. in the way. So I can't see when I'm hitting. Even monopod though, look, my chest rig is not affecting me laying here at all. It's completely out of the way. Up here, even more so. Not laying on it, no problems breathing, it's not affecting my diaphragm, none of that. If I need to reload, it's easy enough. Not a problem. So I encourage you to get out and try this from down here, away from the range, okay? Do it where you've got as much as you can the real world at. It's not flat, it's not clear, it's not open. Getting any lower than this is probably going to be fairly unrealistic in a fight. Not saying you won't have to. I mean, there's obviously, exceptions and situations for everything. But from here, I can aim, I can shoot, I can reload, I can breathe, I can do whatever I want to. Now, I'm utilizing a split front chest rig, right? Which means that gives me the option of unbuckling it and kind of throwing it out to either side if I don't want it underneath me at all, okay? That's one of the benefits of a split front. But even with a single one-piece chest rig, it's still not an issue to be able to get down low on the ground, okay? This center section is not making any difference of it being on my chest, on my diaphragm, in the way, anything like that. So guys, you can go prone with a chest rig on. It can be done. It's perfectly normal and realistic. Get out and try it. And I think you'll see that a lot of times there's stuff regurgitated on the internet that doesn't always play out into reality, okay?
So again, the bottom line is, guys, get out and try this stuff with your gear. Make sure you've got your gear set up right. Or maybe right's not even the correct word. Get your gear set up effectively for you to accomplish the task that you want to accomplish. If you want to be able to prone out, set your gear up so that you can do that. It can be done. You just have to utilize it in the way that necessitates doing that. Chest rig up on the chest, okay? That'll keep it off your stomach and diaphragm. Proning out in the real world's not a problem, okay? A lot of guys like to wear belt rigs, okay? I've got mine, have it for, particular uses. try to avoid putting pouches or anything on your belt past right here where your hip bone's at. You should be able to feel your hip bone, okay, on either side. Use that hip bone as a reference point. Don't put anything past that in the front. That's where you can definitely run into some problems proning out, is wearing belt gear when you've got pouches all the way around here in the front. Now those could definitely get in your way regardless of how you prone out, because your belt buckle and stomach is going to be on the ground regardless of how you prone out. That's where you could run into some issues. So shift everything hip bones backwards, and that will work a lot better with that. Again, broken record, keep your chest rig up on your chest, okay? I've even got this one riding just a little bit low because it's summertime right now and it's so hot and muggy. A lot of guys complain about that, I've seen. It's a trade-off, guys. If you're wearing gear and you're out in hot weather, you're gonna be hot. You're gonna sweat. There is no way around it. What you do for that is training and conditioning. Get yourself used to wearing it in hot weather. Get used to sweating and being hot. Get used to drinking a lot of water and staying hydrated. Get used to being able to do things when you're hot and tired. Exercise, work out, you know. That's where all that, you know, PT stuff comes into play that you hear other people, you know, talk about and say. Touching on that just as a teaser, I'm going to do a video specifically addressing some of my thoughts on PT and everything, and how it relates in my mind for us, and us being armed, prepared citizens, survivalists, etc. Not necessarily from a military standpoint, which is, you're going to hear me reiterate that because there just seems to always be people that don't get it. We're not doing things exactly like the military here. We take things from what the military does and adapt it for our purposes and uses. There are differences that we have to take into account, okay? But for this one, going prone, chest rig, gear, not a problem, guys. Not a problem. If you haven't tried it for yourself, don't believe what you read and what you hear, okay? Again, as always, take what I'm telling you with a grain of salt. Go try it for yourself and see what you find out. So stay safe, keep preparing as always, and I'll talk to you in the next one.